All right, let's get started. Good morning, everyone. Welcome and thank you for joining us today. My name is Matt Stevenson, and I'm the Vice President and General Manager of our Oregon facility here, Sunstone Circuits. I've been in the industry for over 27 years or so, and have experiences all throughout the PCB manufacturing facility. I started in the analytical chemical lab, went into process engineering, quality, materials, um, upfront stuff, sales, marketing, and process engineering, which I already mentioned, and then into leadership. So I'll be your host today as we go through the Sunstone online accounts. um, so here's kind of our agenda for today. A little introduction of Sunstone, a little bit of an overview of our quote form, and then we'll dive right into the online account features, how to get started, and some of the benefits, etc. And if there's any questions at the end, we should have time to go over anything that you might have. All right, Sunstone Circuits has been a PCB manufacturer and been building since 1972. We were acquired by American Standard Circuits in July of 2023. So now that partnership has given us kind of a ultimate PCB source for people. Sunstone has been online primarily since about 1972 for quoting and ordering. Today, I want to give you an overview of our online account features, which we designed at the time to enhance that online experience for PCB quoting and ordering. Sunstone really is known for its short lead times. It's a pretty high mix, low to medium volume manufacturer located just outside of Portland, Oregon. We have PCB, free to use PCB design tools, PCB 123, as well as Express PCB for use from our customers. And we've also partnered and have been partnered with Screaming Circuits for over 20 years, who they do online quick turn assembly. So we have the integration between our website and their websites to be able to order assembly labor and get quotes for parts, etc., through our online program. So now we're going to dive in a little bit to the online experience. So I'm going to switch screens to a different screen, if you will, so we can go through some of that. All right. Let's see here. Doesn't look like that switched over. One second.
There we go.
All right. So this is our online quote form. We refer to it as the one quote. It is a pretty comprehensive list of questions in order to get you a fairly accurate and detailed online PCB manufacturing quote. So it takes into account um, lots of different parameters in here. Once we put in a few parameters up top here, and I'll just go ahead and make up a few things, you can see that our lead time matrix gets populated. So it's got a couple default quantities that it sets in, which you can change to anything you want with the custom quantity link here. but it gives you all of the lead times available and then the unit price for the board that you are currently configuring. So as you make changes down here below, you'll see that the unit prices, et cetera, change dynamically, giving you an understanding of whatever decision you've made in your design files, um, how it'll impact price. So that's a little bit about our quote form. We've got also, like I mentioned earlier, our partnership with Screaming Circuits. So we've got different options for interacting with that assembly relationship, as well as if you want to order different stencils for your PCB project. But we are going to look more at the online account feature. So I'm going to hit this little head button up here, and I am going to create us a new account and show you how that's done. So here, note says I do not have an account, so I will continue there. And I'm going to put in an email address, which is one of the keys that we use for that account. And I'm going to make up a password here. It's got a few questions for me to fill out about my contacts information, addresses, etc. So I'm going to basically populate from my defaults right now to speed things up. So you don't have to watch me type all of this fun, exciting stuff. And then we've got some questions down below that are related to GDPR, security questions, privacy policies, etc. So I will go ahead and answer those. Do I want promotionals? Yes, of course I do. And then there's an optional question here about what industry I'm in. So I'm going to say manufacturing, and I'm going to register there. So what that does is it sends me an email to my email account basically to verify that email. So I'm going to, behind the scenes, go to that email, I hope, and continue that registration. Does not look like that wants to happen. So, oh, user already has an account. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to log onto my other account real quick that has much more exciting information in it, and it'll be a better way for us to view that. So you should be able to see my account now. Kelly, let me know if it's not there. So this is the Sunstone online account homepage. So you can see here on the left-hand side, the left nav, there's a whole list of different options for you to select to go through your account. On the main page here, it's got kind of the summary of the user. So the email address, which is the username, how long you've been a member, company names and groups, default shipping addresses, what we filled in for member contact, company address information, billing information. You can save a credit card securely in here. You can add shipping account numbers, add or delete those. And then you can add and delete technical contacts if you're more of a purchasing role and you want to make sure that your engineer gets the phone call at 2 in the morning if the order goes on hold. You can make sure to put technical contact information in there so they get that call. One of the coolest things about this account that we added was the idea of sub accounts. So basically what that is as a master user, I can invite people to my account and I can give them the ability to do different parts of the tasks of quoting, ordering, and maintaining my online account. So I can go into here to add a sub user, if you will, and I just need to fill out a little bit of information about that person, tell them what they're allowed to do. Are they allowed to just order circuit boards? Can they edit some of the information, the billing address? Maybe a AP clerk would want to do that. Um, can they view the entire order history of all the orders placed under this account? Can they change shipping addresses, etc.? Approve to edit company address book and view quotes. So you can select as many of these as you want. You can give them all access, or you can just limit them to what you want them to be able to do. Fill out their email address, give them a temporary password, information on their address, etc. And then you're basically going to go ahead and register them. It'll send them an email that they can log on to and verify their account, and then they will have access as you granted them for as many of those items as you want. So if we dive in a little bit deeper, within the account section, we can look at the different things here. I have the ability to request an RFQ if I don't want to go through the quote form that I showed you a minute ago. I have the ability to simply just fill out this little form, answer a couple questions about my design, part number, revision, what kind of copper weights and quantities and lead times I'm looking for, upload those set of files and submit it to our customer support team, who will then create a quote, which could be an online quote, or if it's something that is not able to be quoted online, they'll prepare a custom quote for you. And the results of that quote will be in your account when it's finished. So down here under saved quotes, whatever quote that they gave you will show up in this area. Most recent is on top, and then it goes in order of creation, newest to oldest. You have the ability to archive your quotes. You can search for a various part number if you want. For example, I want to try and search for this part Fox. Hit the search button. Doesn't find anything because I've got everything archived. So I can restore my quote to the active and search. So search for Fox again, and there it goes. It shows me exactly that thing. So I have the ability to look at what my quote was for under the details button. It shows you kind of that pricing matrix again if I want to reorder today. The details on it, it's 12 boards, 4 layers, all of the questions that are answered on the quote form. If I uploaded files, which I didn't on that quote, it'll tell me the file extensions, etc. And then if I'm sharing it with anybody in my account, which is myself, I can do that. So I have the ability to share quote by quote or overall all of the quotes at a time. I can email this quote to a person. I can delete it. I have all kinds of options that I can do within it. I can revise the quote, which will take me back to the quote form, so I can change the necessary items on that quote. So a lot of good things that can be done within the saved quote section. The order history, which is kind of fun, gives you an idea of all of the orders that you've placed over the years. It's real similar to the quote save quote option. You have the ability to archive if you're done with that revision and you're not planning to order it anymore, so there's no confusion. You can archive orders. You can search for orders in here if you have an extensive list of orders that you have in there. Again, you can search by part number or PO number. And then there's even more options to look at stuff in here. The details real similar to what we saw under the quote section, except for an order, I do have to have files uploaded. So it gives me all the extensions of the files that I had loaded. In case there were any questions, how I had it shipped, did I put in my UPS account number, what the tracking numbers of it ended up and the weight, etc. How I paid for it, which I paid for on a purchase order this time. And then if I had a technical contact submitted on that order, which I had myself. So lots of good things there. If it's a custom quote, you can do a requote of it. You can just reorder exactly what you ordered before, which takes you back to the quote form over here. And if you notice, it actually grays out a few of the fields that are specific to that board design. So if you want to reorder it just as you had it before, those fields are kind of locked down, but you can change the quantity that you want to order this time. You can change your lead times. Most of this is all grayed out. You can add things like a first article inspection. You could add, if it's a DPAS order, you can add a CFC, which you didn't have necessarily the first time. You can add assembly to it. So there's a few options, but not a lot that actually impact the board itself as a reorder. So going back to our account, where were we? Order history. If you placed an order and either did not submit files or a payment with it at the time of order, you'll actually see orders show up here in the requires attention part at the beginning of the order history. And it'll tell you this order is on hold for a technical hold. It's on hold for payment or files or anything along those lines. So it's front and center if you've got an order that's not quite ready to go into manufacturing. For people that have been with us for a long time, since before January 3rd of 2017, we have what we call our legacy order history, which will be any order that was placed in our older system. So if you happen to be looking for an older part that's now 8 years or more, I don't have any in my account, so it's going to show me a blank list. But if you do happen to, they will be located there. All right. So moving on, we have the option to request a DFM or Design for Manufacturing report. Basically, you just fill out a couple things here and upload your files. And our support team will run it through our DFM tool and get you back a report on any findings that we found that might impact manufacturability. It's a very, very good tool to submit files to before you go ahead and order. It gives you kind of that extra peace of mind that the files that you created are going to be manufacturable without it going on hold for reasons that you may not have anticipated. So in your account, all the history of your DFM reports will be located in that area. So you'll have a history of all those reports online. My oldest report that I requested 7 years ago is not available, but that was due to storage that I had them remove that. Okay, so DFM, you can also search for it by dates and part numbers and revisions as well. If you've got a bunch of different DFM reports in your account, you should be able to help locate it pretty quickly to find the one that you're looking for. Our address book section, you have the ability to add addresses if you're, shipping boards to multiple locations, or you're working with a couple different divisions and have different billing people that need to be associated with it. If you're a consultant and you're working with multiple companies, you can also have addresses in, to ship to their CM. Company A is CM or their billing department. So you can really tailor all of these shipping and billing and general addresses to your desire. You can add pretty much as many addresses as you want, and you can set one as the default. We have a preference section again, which is a lot of that GDPR information. So you can change that at any time. There's links to our privacy policy in there. You can update your industry anytime you want. So that's all available. You can change your password, etc. So our online account is actually pretty powerful stuff. Lots of ways that you can interact. So let's kind of see it in action a little bit. I'm going to quickly go through a quote here, and then we can see how our online account interacts with us during our checkout process. So I am going to configure my board here. There's a couple questions that it requires you to fill out before it'll go on here. I'm gonna change some things. And again, I'm just making up some stuff here. So don't be too alarmed as I do things. All right, so I'm going to add electrical test. I want to add UL. I'm going to drop ship it to Screaming Circuits. All right, so I feel pretty confident that I've got everything that I wanted in my quote now. I have the option, if you have seen this or not, to toggle between imperial and metric units, which is kind of fun depending on which unit you're more versed in or how you designed your file. So once I feel pretty good about it, I'm going to add that to my cart. I've got an acknowledgement here of what the kind of limitations of the service that I selected was, and what we will and will not check for, etc., during the tooling and QCing of the product. So I'm good with that. So I'll continue. And here it moves through our cart. So it gives us a summary of what we ordered, the cart summary, how many boards, $12, 12 boards, sorry, with a unit price of 66 and some change, what my electrical test charges are, any assembly that I've selected. If I want to upload my file at this point, I still can. I'm not going to do that at this point. Or if something here is wrong, I can hit the edit item button and go back to the quote form and change whatever it is that I missed, and then go back into the cart. I could add anything here. I want to say that I want this, what's a good option here? Double coated with solder mask, please. So we will add that. And then I have the option, we have a shopping cart feature here. So I can go ahead and continue shopping. So I can go back and configure a second board that I want to order and add it to the cart. And I can basically then check out with multiple different PCB configurations at the same time. With this part, I am going to go to just the normal checkout process. So I'm going to select an address out of my address book. We're going to use that one for today. And then down here, it gives me what all is in that address. If I want to make any changes, I can. It won't necessarily save to the address book, but you can make changes at the order level, which is always good to do. I can select different carriers, but because I'm drop shipping it to Screaming Circuits, it's going to default to this ground shipping to Screaming Circuits for free option, because they're located about 12 miles from us and we just ship it right over there for you to use. If I decided I want to use my own account rather than the free ground shipping, I can do that. Or I could add a new account number. We can change different shipping carriers, etc. But because it's a drop ship, it's going to default to just the UPS option. All right, so now I'm going to enter my billing information. I've got all of my billing information with my default bill to address. Everything there looks good, so I'm going to continue there. All right. So I have the option to be able to input my cell phone number in case there's an issue, and it can actually send me a text message rather than have to wait for a phone call or anything that particular way. So I can choose when I want to receive a text message, if at all. So one of the most common uses is anytime the order goes on hold, you'll get a text message, but you can track it a little bit through the process if you want to. You can, when the order is received, you can get a text. When it's moved out of tooling or into tooling as a completed order, when it moves into production, when it's complete and ready to ship, or if the order is canceled. So you can use whatever you want to maximize your experience with it right here in this area. All right, so now I need to pay for the order. I have my choices. I can either use a credit card or I can use a terms account if I have one. Terms account, you can use a PayPal account, or you can use ACH, check, phone, fax type of thing. I have terms set up, so I'm going to use that. It's the easiest option for me to do. So I'm going to fill out a few things here, and I am going to then check out. I can add that technical contact here. I can select one from the list, or I can add a new one if this order has a different technical contact than previous orders. Give them their cell phone so I don't get called. They're emailed. And then I can save it into my file as a technical contact. Before I check out, if I want to review what I have selected in this order, you can see my comment here highlighted at the beginning. And then all of the options that I selected during our checkout process are there. Assembly details, there's no details to show, it's just drops shipped to Screaming Circuits. And then if I have any other comments that I want to add here, which will show on all orders that I put in the cart. If I want to combine them all together into one shipping package, or if I want to, have them contact me when it's ready for tooling because I want to make sure that something gets addressed, I can do that. Gives me all my summary and the option to now submit an order. So we'll go ahead and submit that order. And here's my order confirmation. I'll also get an email that has almost all of this information in it as well. The circuit board details, etc., are all there. But it does tell me my order's on hold. I've not yet uploaded files to this order, so it can't be completed until that happens. So if we go back to my account and my order history here, I should now see an order that requires attention here, the one I just placed. A little bit of a lag. There it is. Okay, so it gives me all the information that I want. So now if I wanted to resolve that hold, I could upload files and complete the order that way. I can edit my text alerts. I can view stuff. So that's pretty much it. That is the Sunstone online account in a nutshell. So if there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer them at this point. Use the chat function or raise your hand and we can get that all right. Doesn't look like there's any additional questions. So I thank you all for your time and hope that you have a great day today and look forward to seeing you on our next webinar. Oh, I see a chat. All right. Well, thank you, everyone. Have a great day, and we'll see you next time.